Hey guys and girls, it's one thing to do a video underneath the vehicle showing you what to check under there, but I think we need to have a look around under the bonnet here as well, and we've found a couple of things that are very interesting here, things you need to know about, that if you've missed our other videos could save you into the 4 figures quite easily with one simple little fix, all caused by someone's aftermarket accessory installation. But the main idea of this video is I just wanted to go through the under bonnet checks, like fluid levels, what we check under the bonnet, and give you a bit of an idea. So whether it's part of a service or whether you're on a trip and you pop your bonnet and do some checks every now and then. So to keep it simple, what we'll do, we'll start off around here on the driver's side in Australia, driver's side. Okay, so I just want to make it clear, this is the first time we've worked on this vehicle, so this is not my setups. I don't install dual batteries and stuff like that to any other vehicles but our own anymore. Done it before, but it's very time consuming, and most people don't want to pay the money for the time it takes to do it right. So that's the problem we've got right there. That's why you end up with quick, bodgy, shoddy jobs, because it takes time to make things really neat, and so that your positive wires aren't rubbing on the edge of brackets, and so that all your red wires have got a corrugated split tubing all the way. Anyway, whatever, and so that you've got all the right quality brackets and the bolts are actually in there, not saying these are the right brackets or batteries or not, and so that people don't, anyway, we'll get to that. So first things first, checking the brake fluid level, right? This is a 150 Prado. Every brake master cylinder's got a maximum and a minimum line, so pretty obvious you think that's where it's got to be, somewhere between there and there. Now, keep in mind, if you keep filling it up to maximum, as your brake pads wear, it's going to go down. You're only going to see it go down, in this range here normally. So if it's down a little bit and you need brakes soon, don't top it up, right? So you shouldn't really need to top up brake fluid. These reservoirs are quite massive, and the brake pad wear, the piston movement, it's not going to move much here on the tide, and once you push the piston back in, it's going to come back up to full. The only time you should need to take that off really is when you're changing the brake fluid. Okay, that's due every 40,000 k's or every 2 years if you don't drive the vehicle enough. When bleeding the system, depending how you do it, you shouldn't let it go below the minimum, is the simple rule. But we're not going to teach you how to bleed brakes, because it is probably even more important than brake pads, a matter of safety, a matter of life and death, and it can be quite dangerous and easy to get air into the system if you don't know what you're doing. So I suggest you don't touch it. Take it to an expert for the brake fluid flush that's due every 40,000 k's or 2 years. But to check it and make sure you haven't got a leak, you can do a quick visual and go, yep, should be sitting around the max line, but if it's down a little bit, it's not something to worry about. Moving around the engine bay, you've got your air filter, so we've got videos on that. You can check and change and lube the seal and clean the MAF sensor. Battery, it's important to check the battery security, so just give it a grab, make sure it's secure. It should be secure, not moving around. This one's not sitting too straight, but again, we didn't install it, doesn't matter, it's not too straight. If you want it straight, then you loosen it off a little bit, you twist it, you tighten it up. Your wires, if you're happy with that and that's how you roll, and I'm not saying this is the worst one we've seen, whatever, it's not too bad. Why is it kind of like, up, down? Anyway, I'm not here to complain about the battery. Now, of course, check your washer bottle, check and fill that up with water, and you can add a washer solution or whatever. We use the Trico windscreen, whatever, concentrate, whatever. Same stuff we use as window cleaner as well. Now, the visual on your coolant, we've just done a major service on this, which included a coolant change. So we prefer to overfill it a little bit, and to bleeding the cooling system, you need to do that. Now, you can suck the excess out, or to be quite honest, when it gets hot, it's just going to push it out anyway. It may make a bit of mess, so what I'd rather do is leave it in there. It's only a little bit over. It may stay like that. It may push it out. We explain to the client that, look, just keep it on, and if it does end up low, we need to top it up. You can top it up with a genuine coolant, or you can just add, if it's a small amount, you can add some water, but look, hopefully not. That's why I'd rather have it over, not under. And then basically, so we've got the coolant, whatever, we're at that situation there. And then, so just have a look, right? You've got a low line and a full line. So low on this one's there, full's there. Obviously expands when it gets hot. So if you run in really hot conditions, it may push the excess out, that when the vehicle cools down, it's around the low line. But I do like it closer to the full when it's cold, and it can go a little bit over when it's hot. But just understand you've got that range there is where it should be. If you see that coolant stain on the inside of the timing cover down inside there, which you haven't got on this one at the moment, then you've probably got a leaking water pump. It's a thing that leaks slowly. Now, obviously, if you change your engine oil, that's where you're going to check your engine oil level. I'm sure we've got a video explaining that separately. Moving our way around to this battery here, again, checking the battery security. It's important that, you know, this clamp, again, something about this car, the batteries aren't square, but, you know, grab the battery, make sure it's secure. I like it as close as possible over this side. I don't need a gap there that I can fit my hand in, because then the battery's unnecessarily close to this hot cooling system. Okay, so, you know, prefer the battery to be, you know, this wiring loom not to be in the way here, but, you know, this is not too much about that. It's about checking levels. Now on this one, to check the level, you got to take, you know, the clamp off anyway and pop this cover open. Hang on, the cover's on that side. Hang on, yeah, no, this side, that's, hang on, what am I talking, which battery is this? Let me see, better work out what I'm talking about first. Let's have a look around. Let's help you out here, right? Some batteries you can't even check the level. I'm just trying to work out. Yeah, now that cover will come off, right? That cover there will come off, and they'll be underneath there, right? So you can do that, or in a lot of cases, what we do, because obviously that's a bit of work, and batteries are never low. Never say never, but you can use the battery indicator. But I'll tell you a bit about those. They're crap as well. They'll tell you battery's good when it's no good, and they'll tell you it's no good when it's good and all that. So don't go too much by that. So what you need to do really is take the clamp off, take the cover off, and check your fluids that way. Excuse me. I don't know these batteries too well. I don't know, what brand is this? Some RACV thing, made in Korea. Okay, yeah, just having a look, trying to see what it is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So check your battery fluid levels one way or the other. Power steering, you can obviously, if it's a clear reservoir, you can see through there. This one was a little bit low, and we've discussed it in other videos, where these can use a little bit of fluid either leaking out the pump or out the rack, and it's very small. It's not what I'd even call a leak. You know, it might have taken the last 50,000 Ks to use 10 mil, you know what I mean? So you're certainly not going to invest thousands of dollars into fixing a small leak like that. But as it says, cold max, cold min, hot max, hot min, pretty straightforward there. Obviously you can just take the cap off. We had to fix this one up. It was the first one we actually had where it came off, even though we didn't have to take it off. I was topping up a little bit, and this, see this rod on the end, that was sitting down in there, so that can detach from the lid as well. So just be aware of that. If you take that off and you find yourself you've got just a lid and not a dipstick, which you don't need the dipstick, you can see that, right? So the dipstick, you could, I'm not going to say take it out and throw it away, because it's probably partly sealing the top of the thing that no fluid should ever get near the top anyway, so you probably could throw it away. But let's not try that one out. First one we had where the dipstick was separate, and we fixed it up anyway. Nothing to check at the fuel filter here. You can drain it. They say, excuse me, they say to drain it every service. You know, down on the bottom there's a little tap there, and this has got the Ryco 699, which we recommend against, because the bottom down here, it is too small, and the bottom bracket doesn't fit on there. But there's a little tap on the bottom there, and you can open that and let a bit of fuel run out, but all that will run out is a bit of fuel. Never find any water in those. Never say never, but you know, I'm talking about basically never. More never than rarely, you know. Like never had a Prado come on with a water light in. There you go, with a water light on. Never had a Prado or Hilux come in with a water light on. Never found water in a Prado fuel filter, other than when I was changing the filter anyway, so the light hadn't come on anyway, right? So the best way to do it, if you want to really, I say change these filters every 40,000 or once a year. But if you haven't done a lot of Ks and you want to save it, that's good too, because if you take it off the way we show you in our changing it video, take the hoses off, keep everything clean, take the plugs off, take the bolt, take it to the bench, take the bottom off, empty the crap out of the bottom is the way to do it. Don't just drain it, wash the sensor and everything, make sure it's all clean as per our changing the fuel filter video. And you can leave the element, have a look at it. If it's still fairly white, there's no point changing it, you're just wasting it. And just don't unscrew that off there. This is your clean side, so just leave that alone. It's just the bottom. You're just going to drain what's in the fuel filter out. You can have a visual, have a look at it. Doesn't matter what's in there, doesn't mean your filter's blocked. If the filter's really dark grey, black. If it's really black, then change it. Every 40,000, change it. Once a year or maybe two, change it. I'd rather stick to the every 40,000. So it depends how many Ks you're doing. You know, I don't like waste. You can say, oh, you know, I do mine every 5, every 10. You're just wasting it. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. It's a waste on the environment. It's a big waste. So that's what we're checking under the bonnet. Now, the two things we found for the people that hung around that want to save the 4 figures, this one is the small one, the battery terminal. It was on, but it was sitting up about, see the gap at the moment, you got about a 1 mil at the bottom. It was about 4 mil at the bottom. The top of this battery terminal here, the edge of this was over the top of the lead, right? Sorry, the terminal, you know, the connection. What do you know what I mean anyway, right? That, you got to, when you disconnect and reconnect and change your battery, guys, teach this to the, it's pretty basic stuff. All they do is replace batteries, but they undo that just enough to rip it off, and then they push it on, and it's not all the way down, and they tighten it up, and instead of being tight, clamping over the battery, it's tight here, as in those two parts there touching each other, right? That's the tight part there. So at the moment I can fit my fingernail in there because I loosened it off a few turns, pushed it down. Now it's tight as, you can't, you know, it's not going to come off, but it's not all the way, right? And you just nip it till it's just tight enough that it doesn't move. Anyway, guys, the last thing was that aircon pipe down there rubbing. Not good. We've got videos on that. That could cost you $1,200 or $2,000 down there. Hard to show you. Check out our other video. Anyway, that's a bada boom, bada bing. We're out of here. Thanks for watching. If you got something out, please give us the thumbs up. Check out our other videos and subscribe. Turn the bell on. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya. Oh, you thought I was going to leave you hanging and not tell you a little bit more about the pipe. But I already told you in another video, guys. This is the thing. The most important thing we found on this vehicle is this aircon pipe rubbing, okay? It is a common problem. Why? Because people put dual batteries in and they're inconsiderate, and they put these trays in and they push this pipe out, which normally sits further back this way, and they remount the bracket on the end of the battery tray over there, which pushes the pipe out that way. But in doing so, they should pull the airbox out and rework that aluminium aircon pipe down there, that one there. They need to rework this. It's big and strong, and there's a clip, right? Now see this clip down here, right? See, it's not in. See that? Look, see that? You can see right there. It's busted, right? And that pipe's not in the position it's meant to be in. And this is a really important thing not to miss at service. What's the point of servicing the vehicle if you're not checking to prevent things that could cost over $1,000? Now, come down in the wheel arch. We'll go and have a look down here. And you can see the way to check it. See that hole there? Top of the shocker, right where I'm pointing, you can see the shadow, the end of my finger, right there. That's where the clip goes. If that clip's not there, you need to come back up here and check this pipe and make sure it is, you know, you can replace the clip or whatever. Now what was happening is this pipe, it's hard to show you, but this pipe here where my finger is was rubbing on the next upward pipe here, and it still is, right? Because it is hard to rework the pipe without popping the aircon, the air box out. So the solution we use is I get a bit of heater hose. That's what you can see down there now. Let me get the light around here. So the quick, easy solution to prevent any problem is you get down here and you fit, see that heater hose? That's a bit of heater hose. We've cut in half and I've got one zip tie around it so that it can't twist and it stays there. So even though these two are touching together, it's never going to rub through that pipe, okay? Now another time when we've got more time and we've got the airbox out, or we'll take the airbox out, we'll rework the pipe. We'll try and get another clip, you know, that clip that's completely useless down there now. But guys, this is really important to check when you service your Prados, but not if you haven't got a dual battery. Check it anyway. It's just a quick check that takes 10 seconds, right? You can just see it from this side now. You can see what I've done. I haven't cut the zip tie yet. Maybe I won't even cut it, right? I'm trying to demonstrate for you a quick, easy solution and the problem. You can come up with your own solution. Ideally, like I said, when you install dual batteries, you take the extra time to take this airbox out and you rework. When I say rework, I don't want to use the word bend because we're not bending it. We're reworking the pipe so that the clip can stay in place, that clip down there, right? So that this doesn't happen. And you know what? I'd put the rubber on anyway. If you've modified it, that there's any pressure up at this end pushing out, because it could break or pop out at a later date. So put the rubber hose on there. Bada bing, there you go. You got the bonus tip at the end, how to fix it. Saved you thousands. You better bloody give me the thumbs up for that. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching, and like I said, subscribe, turn the bell on. You're not getting this awesome information as clear and detailed anywhere else in the world. See you guys.